the most dangerous storage unit finds.
Up on Meat Channel, how you doing? Coming and sitting down because today we're looking into the odd and disgusting world of storage units. Is stuff starting to pile up in your house? Are you running out of room? Are friends and family starting to make weird comments about your life?
I think I've never understood the storage units. Yeah, I've got a lot of storage units everywhere around me where I live. Yeah, there's like, I don't know what they're called, the big ass buildings there, and they always seem empty, and I feel like people don't actually use them. And even if you do use them, why? You know what I would do with, if I got stuff that I don't need? First of all, I wouldn't buy a lot of stuff that I don't really need. Second of all, what I would do with the stuff, I'd give it away to charity, because if I don't need it, why am I just going to leave it in a storage unit to rot?
Because there is a simple solution that may only cost you roughly $20 a month, allowing you to relocate your hoard of filth elsewhere. So first off, love Storage Wars.
Yeah, storage unit, again, it's just a scam, isn't it? It's just another money-making scheme that the rich people have created.
Fake TV.
And we are all falling for it.
Show, love it, love Storage Wars. But then I've been seeing all kinds of videos online of verticals of people like they find tons of money. It's all fake. I mean, I don't get me wrong.
I'm pretty sure a lot of us have gone through that phase where like we've been obsessed at watching them storage unit wars or whatever episodes. I think I must have spent about 200 hours just watching them, like continuously just watching them. I think we've all been through that phase.
Storage units where people find some crazy shit. But I want to know, what's some real crazy
And
shit someone's found? I want some
Why is your mic pink?
disgusting, depraved stuff. And that's what we're going to dive into today, all right? Storage units are a great solution for those with too many possessions. The services range from small rooms to large garages, and these labyrinths are found worldwide and hold all sorts of strange items. However, these large steel buildings are not as safe as you may think. From burglaries to insane tenants and even murder, storage facilities are the Wild West of urban cities with chaos hiding behind every turn. So, grab your padlocks and steel boots as we get ready to lift the door on the strange ongoings of storage units. I lived in a storage unit for 2 months.
How was it?
Horrible.
Oh.
It's horrible. It's hot. There's no power really.
Did you crank the door open a little bit? No.
I was too afraid. Just lock it. I had like a little heater in there and doesn't matter. Don't need to know about my life. If you've ever watched shows like Storage Wars, which was one of the most popular shows of the 2010s, it goes without saying that there are all sorts of crazy things to be discovered in storage units. Storage Wars followed a competitive group of
But I low-key feel like Storage Wars is fake. It's just fake. It's just a fake show.
buyers traveling from auction to auction, trying to see who could make the most money with the units they purchase, right? $500.
That's
sold
a
the
fake.
guy for $500. Now I need to make $500 plus more money for profit. That's the show. That's every episode. And there's some bickering here and there. It's trash television. It's also all completely fake. It doesn't matter. Still, eat it up
Okay. Like
all
I
day.
said.
Love
Like
that
I said.
shit. That's what I do. I watch Storage Wars on. That's what I do. Over the years, some of the people on the show have found insane things like rare art collections and priceless vehicles. And although this might look impressive, they pale in comparison to some of the stuff we are going to talk about today. Starting in 2018, a man who bought a unit for $500 and was so excited about what he found that he approached Storage Wars auctioneers Dan Dotson to spread the word. Inside the unit was a
I swear it just said that he won 7.5 million.
lock safe and
Did
took
he not?
multiple attempts and 2 different locksmiths before the code was finally cracked. When they opened the safe, they were greeted with $7.5 million in cold, hard cash. I'd come. I'm not even joking. I would be leaking. I'd be oozing the honey. The maple is going down the tree. You know what I mean? It would be a beehive in my pants, is what I'm saying. Sticky. News of the discovery made it back to the original owners of the unit, realizing their money had just been sold for less than 1% of its worth. They contacted the buyer with a lawyer, offering $600,000 for the unit and the money.
Wow.
After intense back and forth, both parties settled on a reward of $1.2 million, and the owner received their money back in full. You still got $1 million out of it, but I would have been like, I'm not fucking giving you shit. That's also why you lie. You lie and say, I found $3 million in a deal. I'm not gonna tell people about the other $4.5 million. Come on.
So wait, also, is this the owner of the original storage unit or the...
This is the owner of that's like his unit. That's his money. So he's like, wait, what? Because he's probably like, I forgot about it. It's in there. No one will ever find it. Well, how do you not pay it? I don't know. But it's suspicious in my opinion. This is a lot of, I feel like a lot of dubious activities, dude. How do we know it's real? That's the thing now.
That's
I can't
not
trust
real.
anything. If anything, now I'm like, it's just a headline to get some good press. Many believe that the cash was unmarked and was being held in a locker to avoid the law. Storage lockers are typically used for non-perishable items, and while some are climate controlled, it's never a good idea to store food inside. During a routine lock check, a manager began to smell a funky, sweet smell emanating from a nearby locker. When they opened the door, they found 4 large 55-gallon drums. They slowly opened the barrels and found that inside the unit...
Why would he open them? Why would he open them? That's what I want to know. If I ever just seen 4 black barrels in a storage unit, you know what I would do? I would walk the other way.
Over 200 gallons of maple syrup.
It can never be good.
Can you imagine that? We gotta keep those. Relieved that it wasn't anything serious, they contacted the owner and asked why they were storing so much liquid inside the facility. The owner said nothing. The manager...
So this is what happened. Just imagine I'm the owner. Right, I get a phone call. Okay, right, hello mate. Why do you have a storage unit here that you own, that you pay for, and that the fact that no one else should go into it because you paid for it, it's your unit? Why have you got maple syrup in 4 black barrels? That's what basically happened. So he didn't talk at all. He just ended the call.
Around the locker.
I think they stole the syrup. I think it was a little syrup thief.
So you think that these are people that like they went to the Aunt Jemima factory?
Yeah.
Does syrup go bad?
I don't think it does.
I think about it. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen bad syrup. Editor note: can syrup go bad? Editor, also, sorry, do some math. Aunt Jemima is how big? So if there's that many 55-gallon barrels, how much maple syrup is that? And is it worth the headache?
I feel like that's like $400,000 worth of maple syrup.
There's no way it's that much. I'm gonna guess it's maybe a little over $1,000 worth of maple syrup. Like not enough to me. I'd like to have to carry the
Rolls at
barrels in there.
400,000.
There's no way it's
Wait,
worth
oh, did we say 455? I was thinking like 55 gallon.
Even then, you think that's $400,000 worth of condiments? It's a condiment at the end of the day. I love how high you price maple syrup, dude. A lot of storage facilities act as graveyards for deceased people's stuff. Once the person is gone, their belongings can sit there for years until the container is auctioned off along with the stuff inside. One of the most common finds is war memorabilia left behind by veterans. Usually it's old medals, uniforms, and guns, but on rare occasions, it leads to live arsenals being discovered. AKA, they have like
Never
a
be in the UK.
bomb. Out in Rockwell, Texas, bomb squads were called to a storage space containing what they were told were live military-grade munitions.
What the
When they
hell?
arrived, they were greeted with boxes of hand grenades, old ammo, and even live tank rounds. That guy's just like, I want to take them. My business is not done. After safely removing all the explosives, they were taken to a nearby field and detonated. God, what a fun day. How sick would that be? Well, you got to use them. Look at your buddy. You're making my dreams come true. Oh, that's...
So did they get the watch?
Yeah. The people blowing them up?
Or I meant the people who bought the storage unit?
Oh, they better. I'd be like, yeah, this is fucking bullshit. You better let me blow. I'd be like, you need to rent me a tank so I can shoot this. I feel like you can rent tanks for not that much either. There's no guns. Like, they're not, but you can drive them.
Oh, America, man. I don't get America, bro. What do you mean you can rent a tank out? Oh, I've heard about renting a Bugatti, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Mercedes, BMW, Audis, whatever, Bentleys, Rolls Royces, whatever. I've never heard of a tank being rented out.
Over cars
American
and
man.
stuff.
Oh, but in a location. You can't just take it to your house.
No, it's a...
Oh, okay.
No.
Still.
No, the treads would tear up the road. The city would be very mad. It is unclear who the previous
How is
owner
that
was and how they acquired such a dangerous collection.
I like to think it was a Nazi.
Why would you like to think that? Why does that like give you a smile thinking that?
I don't know, just I don't know. I said like.
A little Freudian slip, probably. At a different facility in Pennsylvania, police removed nearly 60 homemade explosive devices. A lot of bombs in these stored. Kind of makes me want to steer clear of them. Now every time I go by a storage unit, I'm gonna be like, motherfucker's getting ready to blow.
Probably statistically, there is probably one storage unit with explosives in every single.
I would say, yeah. If there's a storage container area, there's got to be one locker that has explosives in it. That's what they have in the contract too. There are probably explosives somewhere in here. I don't know. Sign here. Investigators discovered the bombs while investigating the owner for a massive Ponzi scheme. While searching his locker in hopes of finding more evidence, investigators instead uncovered explosives. In total, police removed 60 PVC pipe bombs and over 400 cardboard explosives. Motherfucker's a Home Depot terrorist. The owner, S. von Merchenthaler, was arrested and sentenced to 11 years in prison for
I'm just saying, if that was a colored person, yeah, it would be big news. I'm just saying the fact that he's white, it's not big news. But if it was a colored person, forget about it. Different story.
Legal possession of explosive and weapons.
That guy was starting a revolution.
That guy was getting ready. I'm like, some bank just got spared because that motherfucker was going in with that Office Depot fit. If you go digging through people's stuff, you were bound to find creepy items
No
that they
way.
didn't want you to see in the light of day. In Florida, a former medical examiner's dirty secrets were aired out when he defaulted on his storage payments.
What the hell?
Dr. Michael Birkland, a medical examiner based out of Pensacola from 1997 to 2003, was fired for not creating proper autopsy reports. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this does not sound good.
My asshole immediately did. Following his departure, he continued performing autopsies until 2007, when he stopped altogether. And in 2012, Michael's storage locker was auctioned off for $900 as he could no longer afford it. When the new owner started digging through the stuff, he found a stack of boxes in the back corner and was disgusted
My
by
worst
what he
nightmare.
found. Inside were organs belonging to over 100 different people. Brains, lungs, livers, and hearts were all found in formaldehyde. That would be a smell alone. When you open that store, you would have to smell it. Formaldehyde is strong.
But it should be sealed, right?
Yeah, but I would still think of, 100. I would assume that you'd be like, it smells weird in here. Which maybe all storage units have like a funk. But formaldehyde, I feel like you can smell that shit still. I feel like it would emanate a little bit of scent. Even worse, the organs were stored in basic Tupperware and double gulp cups from local gas stations.
That definitely has a smell then. I thought they were in jars.
Oh my God, not even glass jars, plastic Tupperware and big gulp cups, dude. Fucking big gulp cups. Police quickly tracked down Dr. Birkland and all of the organs were removed. He was charged with keeping a public nuisance, improper storage of hazardous waste,
And he got 20
driving
years.
with a suspended license.
Just threw that on top.
They're like, we gotta make sure we get this motherfucker. The others were notified of their deceased loved ones being found in the locker. Michael never faced any jail time.
Oh.
How? Because he posted his $10,000 bond and walked away. Posted $10,000 bond, but was unable to afford the storage. I'm telling you. Every one of these is just a little suspicious, isn't it? To be fair, if he's putting the brains and organs in big gulp containers, I don't think he really gives a fuck that much. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Threw it in there.
I want to know why he did it. Do you think it was just trophies?
Probably. If you're doing the autopsy stuff, you have to have a fascination with the human body in some way where you're maybe what do you probably they're probably like prize organs. That's the most beautiful liver I've ever seen.
You got to
Yeah.
take a little trophy every time you cut someone open.
Well, exactly. You're not gonna need this in hell.
I thought he was going to do something much more diabolical.
I thought he was fucking dead bodies. Because also that's another thing too. People that do autopsies and shit. This is me just completely speculating and
No.
real fact to it. I
No.
imagine all those people fuck the bodies. I think men that have dead women in there, I think they definitely have sexual
Actually,
bodies.
I think I've read that
No
women
way.
are actually more likely to do something to the body.
If a guy dies with a boner, the boner stays, because the blood stays there, right? Because
Blood
it's
cannot
not
be
circulating anymore. What would a woman do?
Now that I said that, I don't know.
Fingers all calcified, whatever, and she's just like... Dr. Birkland wasn't the only one misusing a storage unit. While his story may have been the most grotesque, others have turned the spaces into makeshift homes. The price of rent has become nearly unaffordable across the United States, causing people to look for cheaper places to live besides being outright homeless. Many have chosen to move into storage units. Certain storage facilities offer climate-controlled units, plug-ins, and public bathrooms,
That
covering
looks
all the
sick.
basic essentials one would need to in basically an
Would you live in that? I think I would. I think I'd love it.
apartment. With the average size of a container being 10 feet by 10 feet, that is more than enough room to fit a single bed and a small kitchen. Plus, storage facilities cover the cost of the utilities, so really saving some money. Granted, you're in a rat cage, but still, out of the rain. So long as you can afford the cheap monthly payment, you can live well within your means. One woman chose to move into a storage locker after her rent was raised from $850 to $1,300 because the building had to be rebuilt after a tornado leveled it. Which I want to say, that's unfair. That's a huge jump too. My God, $800 to $1,300. Holy fuck.
That was just an excuse to raise rent.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we had to do a new one. I have to do it. It's like, fuck you, dude. Yeah, right. In 2021, Mayfield, Kentucky was hit by a massive tornado that left most of the town in ruin. Angie paid her rent by driving for Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Lyft, and was barely making her rent. But after the tornado destroyed her building, it was sold to new owners who raised the rent to $1,300 a month to help pay for the renovations. Tired of living in a one-bedroom apartment with a collapse.
I'm glad that I live with my mom and dad. I don't have to pay no rent. Food is free. Toilet is what? I don't know why I said toilet is free, but yeah, everything's free. I'm living life right now.
app's roof, she decided enough was enough and packed up all of her things and lived in her car. Since her car was crammed with stuff, she couldn't do ride sharing anymore, so she decided to rent a storage unit. At the time, she also began dumpster diving for Nike shoes and selling them online, which we've discussed too. The dumpster diving thing, good way to make quick cash, especially if they're nice shoes. Why the fuck not? So she upgraded to a larger unit to store her inventory after discovering it had a power outlet. She brought in items like a fan and lamps and eventually decided to stop sleeping in her car and live in her locker full time. Angie was able to live in the facility for quite a while, living off her Uber and Grubhub money. However, she was eventually evicted because she was found storing her stuff in units she didn't pay for. Angie was she was rolling hot. She was like a Scorsese like protagonist in a movie, and then that's the thing that flew too close to the sun. To make things worse, she lost her Uber and Lyft license because of a DUI from 34 years ago, and has since moved to a different, cheaper storage facility where she lives now. I'm gonna say that's fucking bullshit. 34 years ago I had a DUI, and that's an Uber gets me for that. Word? How about you fucking forgive and forget, dude?
People must have complained that they maybe smelled alcohol on her.
She keeps putting stuff in my storage locker, and I think she's drunk. What if it was that? On TikTok, a couple went mega viral for showing off their elaborate home inside a storage locker. Leyland Brown and his partner run multiple social media accounts under the name Fullest Nest and have gone viral because of a video showing off their storage unit. Hidden behind a wall of boxes was a full-blown apartment, complete with a couch, dressers, and a small kitchen. Leyland claimed he could run through the halls for exercise, use the bathroom whenever he wanted, and play loud music without disturbing anyone. This video would not only build his online following, but also get him kicked out once the property manager saw the video. Following the move out, Brown and his partner had been living in the woods inside a tent and getting continually evicted because he would post where he was squatting on private property. Give up the social media thing. That or lie about your location. Holy shit. Today, the couple lives permanently inside a hotel room and uses generous donations to help them stay out of storage lockers. Despite there being numerous instances of people living inside of these facilities, it is actually against the law to do so. Some places have input extreme measures to ensure that people don't attempt to create makeshift homes. Managers are trained to identify suspicious activity and contact the police as soon as they suspect someone is living inside a unit. Additionally, more security guards are being hired to patrol, making it increasingly difficult to stay overnight. New locations are being built to be more hostile inside, with no restrooms on the property, no electricity or temperature control, and even poor circulation to prevent air from circulating. Excessive. It really seems like storage facilities are growing more heartless by the day, and the staff shows no sympathy, which comes across some as dehumanizing. If someone's just like, I want to rent this unit, I'm going to stay inside, I'm storing myself. What's the big fucking deal?
It's a violation. It's a code violation. Also, you're not paying enough rent to live there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, do you think they're just like, well, you just give me somebody using the bathroom way more. Utilities are going to go up.
I'm going to start my own storage
all
facility,
about money.
And then I'm going to have an option to live in the storage unit for a little extra.
You have to sign a waiver being like, if you die from a heat stroke in here because I've done the AC sucks, you're in a storage unit. Okay, you can't sue me. You need to realize this is a storage unit, so they don't come to me and be like, it's too hot in here. Is it? You know what I mean? That's fair to me. Like any business, you're going to encounter weird customers, and storage centers are no exception. For some reason, the halls of metal doors and concrete flooring really get people hot and horny. Numerous cases of people getting caught having sex have been reported, and what is even more strange is that 90% of them are cheaters trying to find a hidden place to elope.
Just book a hotel. Just book a bloody hotel. How much is a hotel? What, like £50 a night?
Right, I'm taking her to the storage unit. It's hot in here.
Because, yeah, you could set up a bed. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Jesus. God damn, dude. You need to calm your ass down. In Cleveland, Ohio, the chief of police was found cheating on his wife with another woman. Chief of police is so funny. Wes Snyder had served as police chief for a decade and was widely respected for his dedication to the city. Definitely respected by somebody. That all changed when workers at the storage facility noticed that he and Sharon Marr, a city nonprofit employee, were entering a unit together
she ain't even
for
rolled
60
out,
to 90 minutes several times a week. God damn, good for you.
That's not even worth it, man. That's not even worth
God
it.
damn, 60 to 90 minutes. This boy knows how to put in some hours. I mean, like, realistic, I was gonna be like 20 minutes. When the staff opened the doors, they found the couple having sex in a makeshift sex dungeon. The dirty deed took place on a rug with pillows and blankets. Other things like alcohol, baby wipes, paper towels, and hairbrush were found inside. God damn.
Hairbrush?
Depressing.
It's a very...
I don't want to know what they're doing with the hairbrush. I do not want to know.
Pressing Glocker. If you're the chief of police, can you not, can you not get a bed? Get a hotel, dude. God damn. A sex dungeon, too. I mean, it really is. It's just a thing where it's just like, this is our fuck shack. I call this the raccoon trap. After 33 years of service, quickly resigned, and both parties issued an apology to the city council. I wouldn't have fucking resigned. Oh, so what? I have a storage unit where I fucking, sometimes I go there by myself and I beat off. Crime rate's low? Is it not? All right, well, good luck when this city goes to shit. Oh, man. It's becoming more difficult to be at a storage unit when nature calls. Bathrooms are now private use, and this has left some tenants to leave their shit elsewhere. At one facility, workers were alerted by a bucket found in the middle of an aisle. When they found it, they witnessed that it was filled to the brim with human feces. Filled to the brim. Do you think that's an exaggeration, or do you think it was just right?
Filled to the brim. That means they kept on doing it till it filled to the brim. Imagine.
I think, yeah. It's like, you know those videos where they're like the men doing the water challenge with a cup?
You're on a very gross tear today, dude. He was conveniently found in an aisle that didn't have a working camera, and it is believed that the person shit there on purpose. They're making a statement, dude. At an outdoor facility, a property manager hopped on his golf cart to patrol the grounds when he found a t-shirt discarded outside a unit. He reached down and tossed the shirt into the back of his cart, only to be hit by a spray of cold diarrhea. What? Someone had used the shirt as toilet paper and covered it in feces. So everyone that's watching this video is clicked off, right?
Yeah, at this point.
They're gone. I'm talking to no one now. Online, multiple people have come together to tell their stories of how people will simply poop in trash cans or next to fire hydrants. Like a dog. Another manager complained to having to deal with a serial pooper who stalked the grounds at night
How is
and
that
pooped
even a
on
thing?
buildings and the streets. Goddamn serial shitter's back. You think he like shows up there like the sheriff's like looking at it? What is it? He's just like, I know who that's from. It curves to the left the same way. Poop is the least of the staff's concern because tenants are regularly found passed out or injured near their units. The owner of a storage facility was alerted to a specific unit after smelling smoke in the hallway. Smoked himself out. When they opened the door, they found the owner on the ground unconscious and a jerry-rigged kitchen cooking food.
I'm pretty sure that's not a real photo as well.
Food. Got a big
Right.
like pork chop in there.
Better not be.
Nothing I love more than cooking a pork chop in my storage unit. The renter had set up a hibachi grill. What? He was practicing? The renter had set up a hibachi grill and covered himself in the grill with a blanket to mask the smell, but asphyxiated himself with the smoke and fumes. What a dipshit. He's doing that thing. He's like, dude, I'm doing that onion ring volcano. He's like, that's awesome. Just blacks out immediately. A similar situation occurred during what the owners referred to as a dead body walk, when one of them discovered a customer passed out drunk in the middle of the aisle. The owner was drawn to the man when he found a long extension cord that spanned nearly the entire building. When he found the drunk, he passed out with a beer in one hand and the other down his pants. In front of him sat a TV and a VCR that was playing pornography. What a king.
So he was fucking jerking himself off with the
He
bottle.
brought an extension cord over, he was plugged it in, he was beating his dick off, getting drunk. He's like, ugh. How do you wake, even if no one found him, how do you wake up from that?
There are a lot of weird people in this world. I'll tell you that. After watching this video, I realized how weird people
Why
are.
do I keep doing this? The VHS has popped out because it it stops, it rewinds, and it pops out. And he's sitting there, he's like, pushes back in, round two. Takes his onions. Covers himself in a blanket. The police were called, and the sound of sirens woke the man up, giving him just enough time to hide in one of the empty units. He had previously been given keys to all the vacant units in the facility after helping the manager move some things.
What?
Oh, now he's the key master, too. You helped me move a box, so here's every key to every unit. The same man had been seen just a few days earlier, naked and unconscious, in front of a different unit, but no action was taken. Damn, dude. That's a minotaur. That's a labyrinth I would not want to walk into. Can you imagine, like, sitting there and grab your stuff?
I'd be scared. I don't know. I'd run away, probably.
If I saw a naked, passed out guy, yeah. Well, I'd probably call 911 because, like, hey, there's a dead, naked guy.
Nah, I wouldn't call anyone. I don't think I would call 911 or 911, is it? It's 911 in America, right? Yeah, I just wouldn't call anyone. I'll just walk away, just mind my own business. Like, why even bother?
He emerged from the hiding and confronted the owner for calling them.
Let
only
them
to be
be.
kicked off the property for living inside the unit. I like how he had the audacity to be like, dude, really? Or you're gonna call the cops? Cool, man. I thought we were cool. He has like a giant keyring. Does this mean nothing to you? I'm never helping move your Hot Wheels again, man. Hot Wheels, Matchbox cars, not doing it, dude. NASCAR, I'm not doing none of it. Not moving the cars anymore, man. In another unit, a tenant was evicted after the manager discovered bloody handprints and smears stretching from the front to the back of the unit. According to the manager, the space was packed to the ceiling, forcing the tenant to climb over her belongings to reach items in the back. In the process, she would cut her wrist and body on exposed roofing and metal walls, leaving streaks of blood behind as she crawled out. That's I completely understand.
That's terrifying.
I'm gonna take everything out, just crawl over it. Yeah, I got cut up a bit, but I'll be okay. I wonder what if she died in there? It's like a saw trap trying to get to your Furbies in the back. Back in 2008, an obese 60-year-old woman. Why are you looking at me? Back in 2008, an obese 60-year-old woman came into the front office to pay her bill when she tripped and had the front door pin her to the floor. What does that even mean? How did it pin her to the floor?
I'm guessing she like tripped and the door broke and then.
Staff rushed over to help her up. She was screaming and hollering in pain. The general manager was the first to reach her, freeing her leg from the door. Once free, she was dragged further into the lobby and rolled onto her back like a manatee.
I sometimes wish that half the stories that he is telling me that they're not true. Please, they're not true. Please don't be true.
She tried to get up on her own, but she was so large that her gut prevented her from sitting up. Preach. Staff described her situation as rolling around on her back like a turtle and could not get up. That's a quote. That's a legitimate quote. Rolling on her back like a turtle. I thought they're just watching her. And they're just looking at her like, let's just wait for her to die. Eventually, the manager pulled her up off the ground, and staff were checking her over to make sure that she was all right when they noticed that she had pissed herself during the fall and soiled her pink sweatpants. You fell down, you got pinned, I'm gonna piss myself. All right? That's not even an act of rebellion, that's just the facts. After she was deemed okay, she paid her rent, but moved out about a month later. Because why? How embarrassing is that? Yeah, I'm gonna be fucking embarrassed every time I come in here. There's a girl rolling her back like a turtle and pissed herself, and we got it on camera. Renters can be a pain in the ass because of their behavior and odd possessions, but sometimes evictions are not enough punishment for these depraved people. There are numerous bizarre and horrific renter crimes. Tenants and managers don't
wow, look how easy it is to break into
always
that.
see eye to eye, but that doesn't mean they can't get along. Worked at the 1 in 5 mini storage near Portland, Oregon for 15 years and was liked by most of the tenants. After about 5 days without hearing from Eric, a friend drove to check on him. He opened his storage unit and found Eric dead on the floor. Police determined that the cause of death was blunt force trauma from items found in his own unit. Suspicion grew when none of Eric's valuables were taken, suggesting it wasn't a robbery. His death would remain a mystery for a year until police gained access to the keypad records and found that one tenant was at the facility during Eric's final moments. Rob Caputa had entered the facility around the same time that Eric did, but after an hour, only one left. He was a long-term tenant at his unit since 2019, averaging about 55 items per month. But after Eric's last signed in, he avoided facility for 3 weeks.
Guilty.
Not good, Rob. Suspicious activity, Robert.
Guilty.
Rob was eventually arrested after DNA was found on Eric's body and was sentenced to 3.5 years in jail.
3.5 years for killing someone. What? That's not fair at all.
Killed Eric after someone ran over his dog at the storage facility, and he blamed Eric for its death. He fucking John Wicked him. He doesn't know if it's Eric. He's just like, you have to die. Yeah. Another man in North Carolina was locked in his unit for days without food or water by his girlfriend.
Women, man.
In 2024, police responded to a call at the Cooper storage compound from a man who claimed that he was locked inside his girlfriend's storage unit. When they opened the door, they found Gary Oxidine, weak and emaciated, on the floor. He had been surviving in the unit for days with no supplies until he found his phone in complete darkness and called for help.
It took him 4 days to find what?
How big was that? Starts 10 by 10. I imagine the first day he was just like, I wonder if on the last day he was just like, I really should look for my phone, actually. I'm not gonna die here. After his rescue, his girlfriend, Robin Deaton, was arrested and charged with attempting murder and kidnapping. However, after the charges went public, Gary spoke to the media and claimed that the accusations were bogus. He said he had simply fallen asleep in the unit and that his girlfriend had locked it without realizing he was inside.
Really?
Word. Come on, Gary. The pussy can't be that good, dude. This was in complete contrast to what he said in the 911 call, where he claimed his girlfriend was trying to kill him. When the case went to court, the charges were dropped after Gary had admitted to lying, and the couple was able to walk free. I'm telling you, that is some diabolical fucking sniz, dude. Holy shit. That snoo is... Whew. Better than Kobayashi. If you think padlocks are going to keep your stuff safe, then you're mistaken, because break-ins happen all the time at storage facilities. A traveling nurse in Colorado had $80,000 worth of stuff stolen over an 8-day period.
First of all, why would you put $80,000 worth of stuff in a bloody storage unit? Why?
From extra space storage. She lost furniture, medical equipment, family heirlooms, and even her engagement ring. Police responded to the break-ins and added her case to the long list of 55 previous incidents reported at the facility.
Yeah, good luck finding that, mate. Good luck.
That year. Since the incidents were reported, no other break-ins have occurred as the facility upgraded security. Oh, did you? With what money? $80,000 worth of stuff is what I think. That's what I'd be suspicious of too. People that work there, they see you bringing in stuff. What is this? Oh, just like my grandpa's baseball card collection.
I mean, look at the guy who gave his fucking friend the keys to the castle to go fucking open.
Beating his dick off all day and fucking... Oh, boys, La Vida Loca, dude. At a different extra space storage in California, 4 people lost thousands of dollars worth of stuff after thieves cut through thin sheet metal walls with a saw. One of the victims claimed the thieves stole most of the audio equipment, including TVs, car stereos, and mixing boards. Police wonder how the criminals were able to pull off the heist because although units are indoors, have a code at the front door, and they are equipped with cameras everywhere. California appears to be a hotspot for criminal storage activity. Just a couple hundred miles south of the last break-in, Steve Bohannon and his nephew purchased an abandoned locker for $80 at auction and were excited to flip whatever was inside. They were greeted with a bunch of boxes that read, "Danger, poisonous."
Oh, God. I wouldn't even open it.
What is that, Uncle? After opening them up, they discovered that every single box inside the container was filled with meth, beakers, and safety equipment. Thank God. Steve called the police to report his discovery, and they arrived in full hazmat gear to safely remove all the drugs and the equipment. I just want to say, this is not me actually saying it, but don't get an extra storage thing. Extra storage seems like a scam.
I totally agree with him. I would never ever get a storage unit. Neither would I ever think of buying one.